And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Baseball on the USPBL YouTube channel. Today, the hometown Utica Unicorns will take on the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers in this cross-conference matchup here on this swipe right night, bouncing at the ballpark with 105.1 and Thirsty Thursday here at Jimmy John's Field. My name is Leo Ortel, and in a few minutes, I'll be joined by my broadcast partner, Rich Borland, to bring you the call on this beautiful night for baseball. Although we have a lot going on at the ballpark today, we would like to take this opportunity to remember those who served and also lost their lives 75 years ago at the Normandy invasion during World War II here on D-Day. We often take for granted the sacrifice that the men and women make to protect our country in our armed forces, and the invasion at Normandy is definitely a good reminder of the price that many paid so that we are protected and have freedom here in the U.S. The away team Unicorns enter the ballgame today not only with the best record in their conference, but the best record overall in the league at a 9-3 mark. Managed by Jim Essien, the Unicorns have gotten off to a hot start this year thanks to their powerhouse lineup and consistent starting pitching. The back-to-back USPBL champion Beavers enter this game at the top of the Western Conference, but still have a losing record at a 4-6 mark. Manager Chris Newell has to be satisfied with his pitching staff, who have thrown well this season, but he is still looking for his team to break out offensively. The 6'9" right-handed starter Austin Steinfurt gets the nod on the bump for the Beavers tonight, which is definitely good news for Birmingham Bloomfield. With his team leading 2.20 earned run average, Steinfurt owns a 2-0 record and has limited opponents to a dismal 2.17 batting average. He should prove to be tough match for the Unicorns, who will be seeing Steinfurt in action for the first time so far this season. For the Unicorns, it will be the starting pitcher, another right-hander, the 6'3", Spencer Stockton, making his fifth start of the season and his first against Birmingham Bloomfield. Stockton owns a 1-1 record so far this season and has a solid 3.13 ERA. After struggling a little bit in his last couple of starts, Stockton will look for a bounce-back start tonight. These two teams have matched up so far 3 times this season, and the Unicorns have dominated the Beavers with 3 wins while outscoring them by a margin of 21-9. Another interesting note, the Beavers and Unicorns are the only 2 teams in the league's young history to win a championship, so we should have a good matchup on our hands. And now I'm going to send it over to Rich to dive more into the starting pitching matchups. Rich?
So as we get ready for this one, we're actually going to take a quick break, fix the camera, and we'll be right back as we get ready for the anthem and the first pitch here at Jimmy John's Field.
Cool.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So we just went through the away lineups down on the field for the Utica Unicorns, and as the Beavers are getting introduced tonight, let's talk about that starting pitching matchup that you wanted to dive in a little bit more. Spencer Stockton having tremendous success outside of that one start so far in the 2019 season. Stockton, of course, coming to us from Wellington, Florida, the right-hander. In his season thus far, he has faced off against everybody except for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. So first test against the two-time remaining champs as Stockton looks to get going here. 21 strikeouts for the young man. Overall, that is second in the league behind Luis Contreras, who's got 30, the commanding lead for that. On the other end, for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, Austin Steinfort, he's got a 2-0 record, like you mentioned, with that 2.20 ERA, which is third in the league at the moment. He's on one other leaderboard as we took a look at some of that pregame, but he does have 10 walks on the season, which is second in the league, which is something he's going to want to dwindle down as he's got the same amount of walks as he does strikeouts. But batter's hitting just .218 against him, so overall not bad numbers to accompany the 2-0 record for the Rochester College 6'9" product. But we're about ready for baseball here at Jimmy John's Field. We're just about rounding out with the Birmingham Bloomfield starting roster. And we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive into both of these starting lineups here on this Thirsty Thursday. Swipe right, bouncing at the ballpark as we get ready for baseball at Jimmy John's Field. Once again, Rich Borland and Leo Ortel, your umpires for tonight's contest. Behind the plate, it'll be Gary Wagenschutz, and then on the base pass, it will be Mr. Jim Mulick. We'll take a short break, get the anthem in, and then it is time for baseball at Jimmy John's Field. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, on June 6, 1944, more than 160,000 Allied troops landed along a 50-mile stretch of heavily fortified French coastline to fight Nazi Germany on the beaches of Normandy, France. More than 5,000 ships and 13,000 aircraft supported the D-Day invasion, and by day's end, the Allies gained a foothold in continental Europe. The cost in lives on D-Day was high. More than 9,000 Allied soldiers were killed or wounded. Today, on the 75th anniversary of D-Day, the United Shore Professional Baseball League and Jimmy John's Field would like to ask for a moment of silence to help remember these brave soldiers that help protect our freedoms today. Thank you. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise, remove your hats. Veterans and active military may keep your hats on while rendering the hand salute as we honor America and our military with the singing of our national anthem, sponsored by the Detroit Medical Center DMC and performed this evening by the Clawson High School Choir. Great job. Let's give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Our nation's anthem meaning a little bit more today on the 75th anniversary of D-Day. Thousands and thousands of lives lost to protect our freedoms, and we are more than fortunate for that as we get ready to do what we love, Leo. We're here to talk about baseball as the 9-3 Utica Unicorns taking on the 4-6 Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. We're excited to get ready for this one as it is swipe right night at the ballpark, as well as Thirsty Thursday and bouncing at the ballpark. Austin Steinfort, the 6'9" right-hander out of Rochester College, getting the nod in his fourth start of the season with that 2-0 record and 2.20 ERA, good for third in the USPBL through his 16 and a third innings pitched. But real quick, let's talk about the starting lineup that he's going to go up against today. Leading off, playing second, number 9, Kyle Bonneke. Batting second, the center fielder, number 4, Coleman Poche. Batting third, the third baseman, number 10, Colin Rideout. Batting in the cleanup spot today, the left fielder, number 21, Dan Elliott. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 8, Jimmy Letona. Batting sixth, the designated hitter this evening, number 1, Cole Lee Curry. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 2, Dallas Oliver. Batting eighth, number 0, the first baseman, that's Larry McCabe. And rounding out Utica's lineup, the shortstop, number 13, Adrian Guzman. On the other end of it for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers under Chris Newell, it'll be the right fielder, Alec Olin, getting the nod at the top of the order. Batting second, weren't sure if he was going to play tonight due to something going on in one of his eyeballs, but good things for Nick Campana as he's got the slot in the second spot of the roster tonight as he's in center field. Batting third, the designated hitter, Jack Haranek. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Ross Haffey. Batting fifth, the second baseman, T.J. Ward. Sixth, the catcher, number 23, Adam Gauthier. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 3, Cottrell McGowan. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 11, Caleb Longley. And it's Adon Ordonez, the shortstop, rounding it out for Birmingham Bloomfield. So you just saw 18 names go across there, Leo. Do me a favor, pick one of them, and we'll see who fares better in tonight's contest between the two of us.
I'm going to have to go with Jack Haranek of the Beavers. Leads the league currently with 6 doubles. Had a good game last game, going 2 for 3 with an RBI, so it's going to be Jack Haranek for me.
On the other end of it, I'm going to take Colin Rideout, who's third in the league with 16 hits, as we are officially in this one. 7:02, your first pitch. It is partly cloudy, but the sun has been out. It's 74 degrees in Utica, Michigan, as Austin Steinfort back to work. Starts off Kyle Bonneke with a ball that misses outside. The second one, a little bit closer, but Bonneke looking at 2 straight. The 2-0 from Steinfort at 86, fouled off into the protective netting. Birmingham Bloomfield in their home pinstripes, and then for Utica in their away purple and gray uniforms, as the 2-1 to Bonneke missing low and inside. Quickly, the leadoff hitter working that 3-1 count. The Waterbury, Connecticut native was 0 for 5 in the game on Tuesday against the Westside Woolly Mammoths, and it was the worst loss of the season for any team, but shocked that it was the first-place Unicorns who took the 16-2 loss to the Westside Woolly Mammoths in that non-public game on Tuesday. But Bonneke trying to get the day started off on a better footing. Won't do it here. Chases the cheddar upstairs, and Steinfort with a good start to his night, 1 for 1 with a swing and miss strikeout.
Yeah, nice job there for Steinfort to battle back. Not the start you wanted, going with that good 3-1 hitters count in favor, of course, for Kyle Bonneke, but Steinfort ends up striking him out. That's a good start for him on the mound.
So here comes Coleman Poche, the center fielder tonight. Was 1 for 4 in the game on Tuesday with a single, a walk, did have 2 strikeouts. Poche tied for second in the USPBL currently with 3 other players with 7 RBIs. A line drive right to the shortstop, Ordonez, as that one, first pitch swinging was Poche, but he can only find the leather of Adon, and quickly 2 up and 2 down. If you're Austin Steinfort, you will definitely take it, but quickly the defensive scheme for Birmingham Bloomfield, Longley, Campana, Oland in the outfield from left to right, and then McGowan, Ordonez, like I just mentioned. On the left side of the infield, T.J. Ward and Ross Haffey. On the right side, Adam Gauthier, the second part of this battery behind Steinfort. Colin Rideout might pick the stick for tonight's game, taking a big cut, but nothing doing. That nasty curveball that Steinfort elects to bring about 18% of the time forces Rideout to swing and miss, and you're going to get a lot of first-pitch curveballs when you're a guy who's got the third most hits in the league with 16. He's got that .333 batting average, but is also good for 4th in the league. He's tied with 8 runs for 5th. So Colin Rideout, a household name, if you will, in this Utica lineup through the 2019 season thus far. Part of the reason he's batting in that 3-hole. Steinfort, back to work he goes, the 1-1. Back up the middle, even too high for the 6'9" pitcher, but can Ordonez help him out? Yes, he can. The old 1-6-3 put out to end the top of the first. retire the Unicorns in order. Steinford looking sharp. We'll head to the home half. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the home half of the first we go. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel here with you. Spencer Stockton, the Wellington, Florida native, making his 5th start. Just one of 6 players to have 4 under his belt coming into play today. The 2-1 record, accompanied by the 3.13 ERA, have Stockton with some stealthy numbers through his first 4 starts on the year. And he looks like, well, Spencer Stockton. As the first 2 pitches to Alec Olin, painting that outside corner. Stockton looks like he's in some type of mood tonight. We'll see what he brings with the 0-2. Stays cocky with it as that fastball, the 3rd straight, as it's kind of left over the heart of the plate. Olin making contact with it, but Coleman Poche out there in center, running it down for out number 1. So Stockton's 0-2 mishap end up not costing him anything. You can see him and Letona kind of talking about it right there. Tried to have it more outside than the previous 2, but left it over the heart of the plate, but no damage done. Mentioned that's Coleman in center. He's got Dan Elliott to his right, our left. Oliver over there in right field. That slider that Spencer Stockton brings just about 10% of the time. Saw it there, looked good, but a little bit too late on that break. The 1-0 pitch, fastball at 90 miles an hour, called strike 1 is Campana standing in here now. Started the year off incredibly hot. He was batting about .541 through the first couple of weekends, but it's dropped down to .268. So he's been humbled a little bit. Looks like the bat busted on this one as he tosses it up in the air, and things just not really going well for Campana in the last couple of weekends. But he's a great ball player. I know he's got the capabilities, and he'll be back hopefully sooner than later as the 6-3 putout is recorded. 2 up and 2 down for the starter Stockton. He's got a 4-seam he brings 35% of the time. That changeup he loves to go to about a quarter of the time. And then I mentioned the slider 10%. He's also got the 2-seam that he'll throw in there about a 5th of the time. Jack Haranek, meanwhile, in here now. And that 2-seam fastball, you saw it evident there, tailing away from the left-hander Haranek. That is some textbook stuff for Stockton, being able to mix up the inner and outer thirds of the plate. he's looking really sharp tonight as Hranek chases the fastball upstairs quickly 0-2. We remember, Leo, just a couple of weekends ago, back on that 17th of May, it was the Mammoths who were victims to Stockton. He went 7 innings, allowed just the 1 hit, had a perfect game through 5. We'll see how long he can fare this evening as he matches Steinfort with a perfect first inning alongside a strikeout. We are scoreless as we head to the second. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the second we go. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. Both Steinfort and Stockton looking sharp through their first try as they face the minimum in inning number 1. It'll be Dan Elliott, Jimmy Letona, and Coley Curry due up for Skip Essian's squad in this top of the second. Elliott looking at 2 straight out of the zone to start this frame. He was 1 for 4 back on Tuesday in that tough loss to Westside. This one lined down towards that bullpen in left. Steinfort finds the strike zone. It's quickly 2-1. Elliott had a double in that tough loss, but so far in the season, tied for 5th with 8 runs scored. He's also 9th in on-base percentage as the 2-1 missing high and away. 3-1. Favorable count here for the man out of Mercyhurst.
Now we're seeing a similar bat to Bonneke, who led off the first inning. He went 3-1 right there and then had a good comeback, so we'll see if he can come back. Won't be able to as he walks him.
As the 3-1 pitch misses the zone. Something I did not touch on going into the ball game. Steinfort on the season, he's got, count them, 14 full counts against batters this year. 7 walks, 7 strikeouts. So even down the line, as it was even for him overall this season with 10 walks and 10 strikeouts coming into play today. Letona now standing in. Elliott over there on first. This one missing outside to the right-hander. Letona did not play in the game on Tuesday, so he's got some fresh legs doing the catching this evening. Ready for the 1-0 from Steinfort. This one swung on and missed at 86. Evens the count up at 1-1.
It looked like that pitch may have missed the zone again if he didn't swing. So far the command this inning not looking the strongest for Steinfort, but we saw early signs of the command not being there earlier in the first, and then he was able to turn it around for just a 10-pitch inning.
Good pitch here, just 87 on the mark, but inside enough for it to not allow Letona to make good contact on it. Letona making his 9th start of the season with that .259 batting average coming into play today. He's 7 for his first 27, 4 runs scored, 6 RBIs. He does have a home run and a double to his credit thus far. Breaking ball looked good, but Gary Wagenschutz, the home plate umpire, a veteran. He's been umping for as long as I've kind of been around the game of baseball. I've seen him here at the USPBL since season 1, coached some games at my high school as well as my time at Macomb Community College. So this guy is one of the best, and part of the reason he calls about, I would say, 75% of our games is a good job by Stein for continuing to battle back in this at-bat. Letona fouls off another one. Elliott over there on first. Doesn't have any stolen base attempts this year, so Skip Essien hoping that Letona can put something in the air as another foul ball coming off the bat. Steinfort doing good, though, staying in that zone, not giving too much to Letona to allow him to make good contact on it. We'll see what he can do this time around. Throws the changeup just 8% of the time. Wouldn't be a bad try to bring it here. Force Letona to pull the string. Instead, fastball up and in. Has to turn out of the way, does Letona now. Count rings full.
Yeah, you can tell his fastball command is definitely not where he wants it at this point in the game. Hopefully he can turn it around. It'll be interesting to see if he'll go with an off-speed pitch maybe on the 3-2 count.
See what he elects to bring. The runner, Elliott, is going. The hit and run is on. Hits this one a mile high. Longley at the track. He's going to look up, and he won't be able to do anything with it. Jimmy Letona with his second home run of the season gives the Corns the 2-0 lead here in the top of the second. Big fly ball. It carried away as it got up there, but hitting that top of the Chevy Pavilion in left field. Letona looking sharp after that slow start to the 2019 season.
Yeah, that's the textbook definition of a moonshot right there. Hard to tell if it was going to go out at first. Definitely high enough to get out. We didn't know if it had the distance, but, man, it definitely had the distance well beyond that 315 wall in left field. Yeah, the Unicorns pretty much all season, the long ball has been a positive for them, coming in with 10 home runs as a team. Now with 11 after that 2-run shot for Letona.
This one, meanwhile, Coley Curry taking a big fly over to the right side of the field. This one will stay in the park, though, as Alec Olin underneath it makes the catch, backtracking to that warning track, but just out number 1 after Letona's 2-run homer.
And not a bad swing there for Curry. Aggressive on the first pitch, which is what you want to see, especially after giving up a home run. So not a bad idea for Curry. Put some solid contact on it. It'll be Dallas Oliver now for the Unicorns.
Oliver coming into today's action with the sub-200 batting average below that Mendoza line. Looks at called strike 1 to begin this at-bat. And quickly, down in the count 0-2. Oliver's tied for second in the league with those 7 RBIs alongside Poche and a couple of others, but struggling in terms of consistency so far this year. The 0-2 from Steinfort, hanging breaking ball, lined out there to Longley. Not great contact, but does enough to force the issue as second out is recorded. Back-to-back fly balls after the 2-run shot from Letona. 2 down with Larry McCabe coming up to the plate. He was over 3, batting in the 6th spot back on Tuesday in that 14-point deficit to the Mammoths. He was over 3 with a walk and a strikeout, standing in from the left side now. Steinfort back to work. First pitch hitting. Larry McCabe hits a shot past the diving first baseman Ross Haffey. So one first baseman hits it past the other. It's all about that 2-out hitting as McCabe delivers and continues this top of the second. See if Adrian Guzman can bring us back to the top of the order in this top of the second inning. Even though he's batting in the 9th spot, he's had a decent season up at the plate. Or at least I've known him more for the defense. He was one of the best defenders last year. His batting average was not anything to stare at last year, but it's at 282 through 10 starts. He's 11 for his first 39. Not bad numbers there for the La Puente, California native, but overall, 11 hits and 39 at-bats, just 2 runs scored. Does have a triple and a home run alongside the 5 RBIs, just 1 walk and 6 strikeouts, but clearly some off-season weight room training there for Guzman. We'll see what he can do on the 1-0 from Steinfort. Swing and a miss on that 85-mile-an-hour pitch. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Guzman hit just 192 last season. Did have a pretty good on-base percentage at the 327 mark, as he did walk 22 times, but the bat has definitely been a positive for the Unicorns, and he's in a good role, even though he's in the 9 spot as kind of that double leadoff hitter like we have talked about.
So now the count at 1-2. Guzman's going to have to take that 2-strike approach against Steinfort. As you see, both the middle infielders shifting a little bit to their right, our left. Big hole up the middle as Ordonez shading more a little bit towards third, Ward towards the middle. We'll see what Steinfort brings on the 1-2. Breaking ball, taken the opposite way, exactly what you're supposed to do with that pitch. Rounding second, headed for third is Larry McCabe. And the shortstop, Guzman, coming through. Now 2 back-to-back singles for McCabe and Guzman. Kyle Bonneke coming up to the plate. Back to the top of the order we go. He's 0 for 1 with a swing and miss strikeout.
These are some great at-bats here for the Unicorns with 2 outs. Good approach there, especially from Adrian Guzman. Going the opposite way, first and third, sets up a good situation here for your leadoff hitter.
So Steinfort in a bit of a jam at the moment. Already given 2 runs up, and you got 2 on as Kyle Bonneke, the top of the order, steps back into the box. Don't know what more pressure you could get in a second inning affair. As over on first base, Guzman on the season, he doesn't have any stolen bases yet, but definitely has enough speed to maybe try something with runners on first and third with 2 outs, as Willie Martin, the assistant manager and third base coach, giving signs at the moment. Would be shocked to see a straight steal from Guzman with 2 outs, but maybe a hit and run. We could see them try and drive in a run, force one of the infielders out of position as the 1-1 pitch misses. And now it's 2-1. Good job by Adam Gauthier, the catcher, to keep that one in front of him with McCabe over there on third, just 90 feet away from scoring. The 2-1 in the dirt, 3-1. So Steinfort really going to have to make his pitch here. Don't want to have the number 2 hitter, Poche, come up with bases loaded, nowhere to put him, and Rideout would be on deck. Got to get your man here. The 3-1, leg kick, the push. Elevated fastball, looked to be out of the strike zone. As you see Bonneke kind of shaking that off as he's not happy with himself. He had ball 4 right there, but at the same time, you understand the aggressive approach, trying to make a name for yourself. You're not here in the USPBL to walk, let's just say that.
That's for sure.
The payoff pitch, swung on, fouled off, we'll do it again.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the first time up, Bonneke had that full count against him, ended up going down swinging. So he has battled so far at the plate. Obviously, Steinfort won the battle first time around. Bonneke trying to win it this time around.
Yeah, the 13th pitch of the day he's seen. He takes it for a ride. Alec Olin backtracking right where the grass meets the track, and he makes the catch for the third and final out. But the Unicorns threaten and get a 2-run shot from Jimmy Letona. They lead it 2-0. We head to the home half of the second. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the home half of the second we go. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. It'll be Ross Haffey, TJ Ward, Adam Gauthier due up for Birmingham Bloomfield in this one. As you see the sun popping back out on the ballpark as Ross Haffey trying to hold off on the second pitch of the at-bat. He does enough, according to our first base umpire, Mr. Jim Mulick, as the count evens up at 1-1. Stockton with just 9 pitches against the 3 batters he faced in the first, 8 of them for strikes, alongside the strikeout to your boy Haranik to end that home half of the first. But the first hit of the day allowed there for Stockton as Haffey gets the shot into right. Basic single there, but you'll take it. That's good contact. And as a leadoff hitter in the inning, you're not trying to hit it out of the park. You're trying to get on, force the issue, and have your guys behind you get you over and get you in. So we'll see if TJ Ward can do one of those two things on the season. Batting .279 is TJ, the Hartford product, as is Nick Campana. TJ Ward making his 12th start of the season. He's started every game under Chris Newell. 12 hits and 43 at-bats. 5 runs scored, 5 RBIs. It's the first pitch to him. Missed the zone, kind of gets away from Letona for a second. Haffey wasn't halfway there, but thought about it. But instead, Letona able to keep him over there at first. Haffey, I mentioned, joined this league not too early, as he joined us after the season started. Ward swings and misses through the second pitch of the at-bat. Haffey, nothing on the base pass so far this year, but 3 for his first 10. See what Ward can do behind him, as he tied for 7th in the league with 12 hits so far. Stockton, the 1-1, swing and a miss on the 83-mile-an-hour pitch. Ward trying to continue this inning after the Beavers allowed the 2 runs. If you're just joining us, it was Jimmy Letona who hit the 2-run home run down the left field line. It went 347 feet, had an exit velo of 106 miles an hour. And how about that slider? TJ Ward couldn't believe it, but man, did that look good. Front door, couldn't do anything about it. He could tell it was a slider. He just thought it was more outside. But Stockton, pinpoint accuracy right there as he gets his second strikeout of the night.
Tough at bat there for Ward. A couple of big swings and misses. You would have liked to maybe see him try to foul that off, shorten up a little bit. But ultimately, Stockton has some good stuff.
Stockton continuing in this one. First pitch swinging is Gauthier. See Dallas Oliver down that right field line trying to make a play. Oliver, the current owner of the #1 top 10 play in the month of May, when he dove through that bullpen door and actually made the catch. If you haven't seen the top 10 plays for the month of May at Jimmy John's Field, definitely check it out. It's on our Twitter page. As Gauthier down in the count 0-1 to start. Stockton, there's that slider working again here tonight. He only throws it 10% of the time. It's his 4th pitch in his arsenal. But hey, you have your days where some pitches work better than others. I'll tell you right here and now, if I'm a Birmingham Bloomfield Beaver, I'm going to be sitting slider if I have any strikes against me. He's quickly down 0-2. We'll see if he goes elevated with the fastball instead. Thinking about Haffey over at first, keeping him honest as he slides back into the bag.
Yeah, we would definitely like to see Stockton maybe mix up his pitches a little bit more. He's got a lot to work with, a lot of options for him. So maybe throwing more off-speed stuff could lead to more success for Stockton.
Throws that what looked like a straight fastball, but it said only 80 miles an hour on the radar gun on the scoreboard, so maybe a changeup, but didn't see much movement on it. Either way, Gauthier taps it foul. Turned out to be a pretty good day weather-wise at the park. Can't really ask for much more than this, as the 0-2 to Gauthier, fastball at 88, misses upstairs.
Yeah, Gauthier's had a good season, tied for the league lead in both home runs and RBIs. 2 home runs and 10 RBIs, so pretty good hitter here in the 6th spot in this Beavers lineup.
Gauthier going after that one, and he can't get anything out of it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Stockton. Now 3 out of the first 6 batters that he faces. He's looking sharp, only allowing the one base knock, the single, as Haffey remains on first base with 2 down. Now it's Cottrell McGowan's turn to try and get something going with 2 outs. McGowan on the season batting below 100 just in his 5th start of the season. He's 1 for his first 12. So a guy who hasn't gotten as much playing time but has been able to take complete advantage thus far in a Birmingham Bloomfield uniform. Looks at called strike 1 to begin this at-bat. Stockton trying to improve day in and day out, coming off of his last start as McGowan swings through the second pitch of the at-bat. Last start for Stockton was on the 31st of May against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Allowed just 1 earned run on 5 hits. 4 runs did, though, come in to score. Had 6 strikeouts. Not a bad day at the office as McGowan chops a grounder over there to Adrian Guzman at shortstop. The force out at second is completed where Haffey is retired, so McGowan technically reaching on the fielder's choice. We're through 2 innings at the ballpark. It's all Utica. They're out in front 2-0. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the 3rd inning we go. 2-0 Utica, courtesy Jimmy Letona. His 350 50-foot home run gave the Corns the 2-0 lead through 2. We transition into the 3rd. Coleman Poche, Colin Rideout, Dan Elliott due up for Skip Essian's squad. First pitch called strike 1 there to Poche. He swung on the first pitch he saw back in the first. It's a line out right to Adon Ordonez. Poche with the 206 batting average coming into play today, but he does have 2 home runs on the season. As he looks at a second consecutive pitch, it's 1-1 on the right-hander.
Yeah, in last inning, Steinford definitely struggled with his command. Has walked just the 1 batter, but not in control of all of his pitches like he would have wanted to be. Faced, count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 batters last inning. So not the best inning for Steinford. He'll look to bounce back here, but it will be tough against the 2, 3, and 4 hitters.
And I'll tell you what, for having 7 batters up to the plate in 1 inning, just 2 runs coming across could be a fortunate sign for Steinfort as he gets Poche to look at called strike 3, strikeout number 2 of the night for the big fella. 1 up and 1 down to start the 3rd. That's exactly what you want to see if you're Chris Newell, trying to have a quick inning of work after the long second. And that Beaver offense unable to drive in the run in that second inning after the leadoff single from Ross Haffey. But now it's Colin Rideout's turn, my pick the stick contestant for the game tonight. Grounded out into that 1-6-3. put out, and would you look at that? Don't need the 6 this time around. Steinfort able to keep that one in the mitt, and the 1-3 put out is now recorded. But, man, Colin Rideout getting kind of robbed by the big fella. 2 comebackers, and both of them in the books for ground out. So I pick the stick contestant. Rideout not having the best of luck up there at the plate tonight. But baseball, not a game of luck. It's a game of failure, and you can only get better after starting out 0 for 2. Meanwhile, Elliott, first pitch swinging, fouls it off out of play. He is 0 for 0, reached on the base on balls on 5 pitches, and then jogged in on the dinger from Letona. Elliott, meanwhile, down in the count 0-1. This one in the dirt. Good job of Gauthier to keep it in front.
Yeah, Elliott's had a good season so far for the Unicorns. 306 entering the game with 1 home run, 4 runs batted in, and a very solid 405 on base percentage.
Called strike number 2 on Elliott. Elliott, a guy who his stats are kind of all over the place, does have a decent amount of strikeouts on the year, and there's another one. In total, strikeout number 13 gives him the team lead. Not a category you want to be led in, but he's got 1 run scored already on the night, but 2 strikeouts for Steinfort in the third. Keep the Corns off the board. It's 2-0. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We are through 2.5 innings of baseball on this Thursday night. Spencer Stockton, the starter for the Unicorns, painting the outside black time and time again. He's got Caleb Longley, Adon Ordonez, Alec Oland due up for the Beavers in this home half. Fastball at 89, missing up and away. Longley, an easy look. He was in the 7th spot yesterday against those Eastside Diamond Hoppers in the non-public game. Went 1 for 4 with a single and a strikeout. See what he does against the 1-1 here. 88 miles an hour. It's fouled off to the right. A pinch behind it, but that's something that a lot of people are behind Stockton. As it's quickly 1-2. Stockton looking for strikeout number 4 on the evening would be his count it. 3rd strikeout in 4 at-bats, and 4th strikeout in the last 5 as this one into left it goes, hit high. Looks like it's going to stay in the park, but right in front of that wall is Dan Elliott, as that one went about as far as it physically could have without leaving the ballpark, as Longley's day will start off 0 for 1. And now Adon Ordonez standing in. He was over 3 yesterday in the 2-0 victory against Eastside.
And that's really one of the first hard-hit balls we've seen. We've seen the single from Ross Haffey back in the second, but not much contact has been made so far against Spencer Stockton.
Yeah, Ordonez, the only batter in the lineup to not see Stockton tonight. This one's hit hard, and that one past the diving shortstop, Adrian Guzman. You kind of jinxed that one there, Leo. Is that one a good knock there for the number 9 hitter? He had the approach of ready for a fastball, I'm going to do everything I can with it, and hits it real hard. Finds just enough space to get it past Adrian Guzman. So the one-out single is put down in the books there. Second hit of the night for Birmingham Bloomfield. It's Alec Olin's turn. He put the ball into play. It was a slow, shallow fly out to Coleman Poche, who came in to make the catch back in the first. First pitch swinging and missing against Stockton there. It's 0-1, but not sure if there was miscue of signage between the two. Not sure why Letona's coming out here on an 0-1 count, but that's my only. Oh, did our umpire got a little banged up? So Gary's going to get a second. So that's what Letona was doing. He was just simply giving the man he protects a little bit of time, as of course Gerry would do so for him if Letona got a knock there real quick. Those two definitely know each other with all the time Letona has spent behind the dish in his 1.5 seasons here with Utica. Olin down in the count, 0-1 to start. But man, could Stockton use a ground ball here to end the frame. He gets ground balls 34% of the time as the 0-1 misses just a hair inside.
Yeah, Olin so far, like you mentioned, 0 for 1 last game, which was that 2-0 win against the Hoppers yesterday in the non-public contest. 2 for 4 with a run scored for him.
As this one called strike 2. So quickly down in this count is Olin. He wasn't a big fan of that last call, but that's where the strikes have been thrown, and that's where they've been called all night thus far. Olin was down in the count 0-2 when he flew that ball out to center. We'll see what he can do on the 1-2. As keeping tabs on Ordonez is Stockton. On the season overall, if we take a quick look, Ordonez 0 for 1 on the base pass, so you know he's got the speed to at least try for it. See if he does so on the 1-2. Stays home. That slider at 81. You see Letona sliding to the right, keeping that one in front of him. It's quickly 2-2 as the wind starts to push its way towards left a bit. Not a bunch, but you can see the flag in center waving back at us as the 2-2. Fastball at 90, fouled off into the protective netting behind home plate. Stockton on the season, 66% of the time he throws strikes. Coming into tonight's action, he's allowed 13 hits, but just one extra base hit, and it was a solo shot. Overall, that is the biggest part of Stockton's game. He does not allow contact often, and when he does, it's not hard, as we might see an inning-ending double play in the non-conventional way, and we do. Strike him out, throw him out. As Ordonez gets caught stealing, we are through 3 at Jimmy John's Field. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the top of the fourth we go. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. It'll be the man who drove in the only 2 runs of the ball game thus far, Letona. And then Coley Curry and Dallas Oliver due up behind him. Steinfort with back-to-back breaking balls thrown to Letona. One misses, one finds it. The count even at 1-1 to start this at-bat. Steinfort missing upstairs again. And sometimes that'll happen when you're so far up in this world compared to the rest of us normal human beings, 6'9". I guess sometimes that ball gets left up a little bit more than normal. As you see, this one touches the top of the strike zone. Call for strike 2. So Letona's really going to have to bear down in this situation. Be ready for anything close and force yourself to put it in play compared to when he hit that home run. But it was with a full count when he knocked it out of the park, so you never know. Steinfort, the 2-2. Breaking ball, lifted into left field. Can we see another one for Letona? Yes, we can. Second home run of the night for Jimmy Letona, and he's providing all the offense tonight for the Corns. Good stuff there from the Mercyhurst alum. He is on fire tonight.
Yeah, and for most of that at bat, you saw Austin Steinfort pitching him outside, but that pitch left right over the heart of the plate, and Letona did not miss it. Second home run already. Now leads the league with 3 home runs.
Big-time stuff right there for Letona. Giving the Unicorns all the support that they can get tonight. Not sure if we'll need any more home runs from Letona with how we've seen Spencer Stockton look so far tonight. As you see Curry now standing in. No, it's not Steph. No, it's not Seth. It's Coley as he looks at ball 1 to begin this at-bat. Speaking of Steph, last night, Raptors beating, of course, the Golden State Warriors. First loss for Golden State at Oracle since when? Any idea? Anybody? Bueller?
Whew. It's got to be
Game 7, NBA Finals, LeBron James.
Of course.
Meanwhile, Curry on the 1-1, hits one hard down the first baseline. Looks like Haffey almost missed it to start, but he keeps it underneath him. Steinfort doing the rest as he goes over there to cover for the 3-1 putout. And Curry is retired. And Oliver standing in 0-for-1 with a flyout to left on an 0-2 count back in the second.
Yeah, and Oliver enters the game struggling tremendously this season. Now just 7 for 40. He was 1 for 3 with a home run in that tough loss against the Mammoths back on Tuesday in that non-public game. So that's definitely a positive sign for Oliver.
Yeah, he's not having the consistency as he would like, but does have those 7 RBIs. That home run that he's got this year drove in 3, so tied for second with those 7 ribbies on the year. Trying to get something going with the 1 out. This one swung on and fouled off. Quickly 2-1 on the right fielder. Oliver coming to us from Florida A&M, same school as the first baseman and / now catcher for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, Brian Davis. Meanwhile, the 2-1 hit on a line. Good shot there from Oliver, but hits that one to his counterpart, Alec Oland. One right fielder to another. Over 2 with 2 flyouts for Oliver thus far tonight. 2 outs, nobody on. Larry McCabe coming up to the plate. Hit that single past Haffey in the second inning with 2 outs. So we'll see if he can try and start another 2-out rally as Guzman behind him singled as well, but then Bonneke flew out to right field to end that threat in the second. Breaking ball at 74. Saw Steinfort trying to get a piece of that backdoor part of the plate. Couldn't get it, though. Good eye from McCabe. So you see a breaking ball that misses the zone to start. Got to be ready for the fastball. And in fact, look at that, a drop of the knee. Exactly what McCabe was thinking was coming, but a pull of the string. Steinfort, he's a smart kid. Went to Rochester College, so that is some good stuff there from the big fella. We'll see if he sticks with the curveball on the 1-1. Instead, the fastball at 89 brings that count to 1-2. McCabe well out in front of that one. And if I'm Steinfort, I'd be bringing that breaking ball once again, but nowhere in the vicinity of the strike zone because McCabe's a big fella. Could definitely take it away. He's already got 1 home run on the year, and there you go. There's your curveball in the dirt. The setup pitch evens the count up at 2-2. Now here's your textbook scenario where you try and paint the inner or outside corner with a fastball, or maybe mix up that speed with the changeup. The 2-2 in the dirt this time looked to be that changeup, and it brings the count full. So McCabe doing a good job battling in this one, trying to start things back up, but Steinfort trying to get out of this inning. He's got 3 Ks through the first 3. Doesn't get this one, as that one stays in the park, but it goes foul down the left field line. Caleb Longley, the first one to it. McCabe doing everything he can. You see him there trying to force it into left field with the 2 strikes, take it the other way. That's the exact kind of approach that you want with the 2 strikes against you. The payoff pitch. Breaking ball, misses low. Great at-bat there from Larry McCabe.
Yeah, especially with 2 outs. You definitely don't want to walk a guy with 2 outs, but McCabe, seeing the ball well, had that single back in the second. That's a great at-bat there, runs the count to full, and then takes a tough off-speed pitch. Sometimes you're hunting for that fastball on the 3-2 count, but with the way that Steinfort's command has been so far with the fastball, he opts to go with the curveball. So definitely a good take there for McCabe, and it gives a chance for Guzman, who already has a single in this ballgame.
So Guzman, first pitch swinging, takes this one into left center field. Nick Campana on the run, makes the catch with ease. So leadoff home run, Jimmy Letona with 2 on the night. He's given the Unicorns a 3-0 lead. We head to the home half of the 4th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We head to the home half of the 4th. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. Great piece of contact there from Nick Campana. Nothing to complain about as he hits that one on a rope, but right at Dan Elliott for out number 1 on the first pitch he sees, as the best dog in-house, JJ the Field General, doing what he does best, retrieving those baseball bats here in this home half of the 4th. Jack Haranek standing in 0 for 1 with a swing and miss strikeout that ended the home half of the 1st.
Yeah, Haranek is my pick the stick for today. Last game, which was that win against the Hoppers yesterday in the non-public contest, 2 for 3 with the run batted in. Haranek sitting 308, and like we mentioned before, leads the league with 6 doubles this season.
Tied for 7th with 12 hits on the year, 6th in slugging percentage. You said he was 2 for 3 there yesterday, Leo, with a double and a single. To his credit, also had the walk, as that pitch missing the zone. It evens up at 1-1. Haranek, one of the multiple Michiganders in the USPBL, the Ortonville, Michigan native, hitting a ground ball, just kind of sticks the bat out there to try and make contact. Not a great swing there from the designated hitter, results in the 6-3 putout. Quickly 2 up and 2 down for Stockton. here in this home half of the fourth. Good start as he looks for, count it, his third 1-2-3 inning out of the 4 that we're seeing him here. Just a single from Haffey in the second that led off that inning, and then the single from Ordonez that leaded to a strike him out, throw him out, inning-ending double play in the third as Haffey looks at ball 1 to start this at-bat. Had a 1-1 count when he singled and hit the first knock of the day for the Beavers. And he sees another 1-1 count here. It's called strike 1 from Stockton. Got to be careful if you're Spencer. Don't want to leave anything over the heart of the plate. And I bet Stockton knows that this guy's got the one hit against him. Maybe see the slider here on the 1-1. Instead, 84 miles an hour. Looked to be the changeup. So I was thinking outside. Stockton was thinking inside. And maybe that's what Haffey was looking for, as he swings right over that pitch. It's now 1-2. The leg kick, the push, inside with the changeup again. Swing and a miss as Stockton, count him now, 5 Ks through 4. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Florida native. Looking sharp with the 3-0 lead. You head to the 5th. We're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We're through 4 at Jimmy John's Field. Rich Borland, Leo Ortzel with you as the Unicorns now out in front 3-0. Jimmy Letona with a second home run of the night that led off the 4th as Steinfort back in there for another inning of work. Misses the zone with 2 consecutive to start Kyle Bonicki's third at-bat of the night. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout to right field. Foul ball on the 2-0 count brings it to 2-1. Steinfort with 70 pitches coming into this 5th frame, 42 of them for strikes. He's got 3 strikeouts to 2 walks thus far as the 85-mile-an-hour pitch misses upstairs. Bonicki working with a good hitter's count, but we saw him in his last at-bat on the 3-1 swinging a fastball that was up and out of the zone. He wasn't happy with himself as this one misses downstairs, and that's a good eye there from the leadoff hitter doing his job at the top of the order to get on base to lead off this top of the 5th. We'll see if the Corns can take more advantage of Steinfort in this one, as there is not a soul in that left field bullpen, but maybe at this point in time we'll see somebody start to maneuver their way out there as Steinfort now above 75 pitches.
And it will be Coleman Poche stepping up for the Unicorns. If you remember last time around, he went down looking. He ran back to the dugout right away, knew it was a strike, so look for maybe more of an aggressive approach here from Poche.
Poche holding off as Gauthier keeps that one in front of him. Bonneke not going anywhere on that one. Bonneke on the season, 1 for 2 on the base paths, so you know he's got the capabilities. Poche trying to get his first knock of the night, 0 for 2 with a looking strikeout, as well as a line out to the shortstop, Adon Ordonez, back in the first. 1-0 pitch, missing the zone. It's now quickly 2-0.
Another good hitters count. We've seen Steinford has struggled not only throwing first pitch strikes, but also second pitch, just not able to find the strike zone. When you get down 2-0, it's definitely tough, but honestly, he has done a pretty good job coming back after 2-0 and 3-1 counts to attack the hitters.
He wasn't successful against Bonneke.
Yeah.
He's only got now 3 walks on the night. Now, normally that's not the greatest thing to hear, but for a guy like Steinford who sometimes has issues with the command, you'll take just a 3-run deficit at the moment, as it's been pretty much Jimmy Letona doing the damage against you tonight. Outside of that, he's allowed a single to McCabe and Guzman, but other than that, it's the walks that have hurt him. So Poche, the Georgia Tech product, evens the count up at 2-2. Bonneke looking like he's ready to motor over there at first. He thought about it, stays home. Opportunity to get 2. McGowan over there to the second baseman. Ward over to first, not in time. Poche reaching on the fielder's choice as the 5-4 putout is committed for out number 1. Bonneke is retired, and it'll be right out. I picked the stick. We'll see if he's got some luck in his swing this try around, as he's 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts, both hard-hit balls back up the middle. The first one ricocheting off of Steinfort, went to the shortstop Ordonez, who completed the 1-6-3 putout, and then another comebacker off of the bat, a ride out. It did not get past Steinfort as he used his size, kept that one in front of him, and retired right out in the second try around as he looks at ball 1 to begin his third at-bat of the night.
And despite the Unicorns' tough loss to the Mammoths back on Tuesday, which was that 16-2 loss, was a positive in the lineup for Rideout, who had 2 hits and 5 at-bats. One of them was a double and also came around to score. Rideout's had a pretty good season, batting .333 with a .360 on-base percentage.
So he's batting from the left side, is Rideout. Just the one out on the board. Ground ball up the middle to the shortstop Ordonez. Over to Ward at second, and then over to first for Haffey. The 6-4-3 double play is committed, and we are out of it here in the top of the 5th. We head to the home half. Unicorns out in front 3-0. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the USPBL YouTube channel. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. This one just in front of us here in the press box, as it might have rolled back down into the crowd, but in fact it'll stay up there and maybe roll out onto the concourse in front of the ballpark. Is Ward on the day 0 for 1 with a looking strikeout back in that home half of the second. Was 1 for 3 in the game yesterday with a double and a walk, as this one gets away from Letona, evens that count up at 1-1. But for Spencer Stockton, just 44 pitches through the first 4 innings, 33 of them for strikes. He's got 5 strikeouts, no walks, and just 2 measly singles allowed. Couldn't ask for much better of a start here if you're Skip Essien, as time being called from Ward. Stockton, I mentioned, on the season, this is his 5th start on the year. His shortest outing was on the 25th against the Hoppers, where he went just 4 innings, as the 1-1 lined out there to center, where Poche makes the catch with ease. But outside of that start against the Diamond Hoppers, his initial outing back on the first Sunday of the season against the Diamond Hoppers, he went just 5 innings, allowed just 2 hits and 2 walks with 5 strikeouts. Probably trying to get your feet wet here with the Unicorns, so I understand just the 5 innings there. But 2 different 7-inning outings against the West Side Woolly Mammoths. Came into today's action with the most innings pitched in the league, with 23 of them. Mention how he's second in the league with 21 strikeouts behind Luis Contreras of Eastside. Second in the league with the whip, as it sits at 1 even. Adam Gauthier, meanwhile, standing in. He looks at a pitch. It evens the count up at 1-1, as Stockton comes back at it. This one in on the hands at 88 miles an hour. Bonneke underneath it makes the catch with ease. 2 up and 2 down. Much better contact from a pitching perspective from Gauthier's swing compared to Ward's. But either way, 2 up and 2 down. Stockton looking for, count it, the 1, 2, 3, 4th 1-2-3 inning in just 5 frames. We're loving what we're seeing. Can't complain about it. As McGowan, standing in, reached on the fielder's choice that ended that 2nd inning when Haffey was retired. This one hit down the line. It'll go into the, not bullpen, the stable, Leo, as the Unicorns are out there in right today. Got the dam out there in left, as we do see a Beaver getting loose up in the dam. Taking a quick look, it's a right-hander, as it looks as if that would be number 99.
Hunter Keel.
Yeah, Hunter Keel, the right-hander, getting loose at the moment, as McGowan looks at the second pitch of the at-bat. It's called strike 2, but a break in the action, as not sure why. Stockton looked like he might have had something flare up for a second after that release, but he's telling his battery mate Letona that everything's hunky-dory, so we'll see what he brings to McGowan here. Just keep tabs on Stockton, make sure everything's all right, as he could bring a plethora of pitches here on the 0-2, as here it comes. The changeup at 83 misses inside, a bit low, so a good eye from McGowan. But if you're Stockton, you know, your pitch count's right where you want it, somewhere sitting in the 50s here in this 5th inning. You can mess around and miss the zone a couple of times with McGowan down 0-2, and he does so, in fact, as that one evens the count up at 2-2 in the dirt.
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of pitches in the dirt for him. Stockton mainly working on both corners, but definitely has been successful with that. Throwing off the timing of hitters, going inside once in a while, trying to jam them, and then outside as well.
Back up the middle, you see Stockton having to escape from being hit with that comebacker. Hopefully everything is all right for that young man, but a 2-out single is hit back up the middle. McGowan with just his 2nd hit of the season. So that's a good sign for him, as he was 1 for 12 coming into today's action. Now it'll be Caleb Longley's turn, trying to continue this inning. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out to the left. Stockton back to work. Not often coming from the stretch here tonight as the 89-mile-an-hour fastball swung on and missed.
Yeah, we saw a big swing from Caleb Longley his last time up, hit that deep fly out to left field, so looks like he's trying to maybe send one out of the yard again, but with 2 down, you'd like to maybe just try to see him get on base and advance the runner over.
Ground ball, broken bat, force out at second is made. McGowan is retired via the 4-6 put out, and we are through 5 at Jimmy John's Field. Unicorns out in front by a score of 3-0. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We are through 5 at Jimmy John's Field. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. Unicorns out in front 3-0, courtesy of the man in the on-deck circle. That's Jimmy Letona. But first things first, it'll be Dan Elliott's turn. 0 for 1 with a swing and miss strikeout back in the third. Came in to score on that 2-run homer from Letona back in the second. As the 1-1, Steinfort back out there for his 6th inning of work. Forces Elliott to foul that pitch off. Steinfort threw 5 innings, 83 pitches already, 3 strikeouts to 3 walks, just the 4 hits allowed. Of course, 2 of the 4 leaving the ballpark off the bat of Letona. Outside of that, a pair of singles back-to-back in the second inning that went unscathed. But it's the walks that have been somewhat of an issue for Steinfort tonight as Elliott gets on base for the second time tonight. First hit of the contest for him, and that's the last thing you want to see with Letona coming up to the plate, putting a runner on for him. So you can't really pitch around him. You got to force yourself to throw strikes because you don't want to put runners on first and second with nobody out. You walk Letona here. That'll be your 4th walk of the day, already near the 90-pitch mark. Got to imagine that leash is pretty short for the 6'9" right-hander.
And you saw that on that first pitch, misses outside. Last time he was up, he attacked him outside in the strike zone, got him in a hole in the 2-strike count, but then hung one right over the heart of the plate for the second time. So Letona has seen 2 mistake pitches and has not missed them.
So Letona out in front by the count of 2-0. Not what you want to have against a guy who's already got 2 home runs off you in the contest. Better pitch there at 86, fouled off of the bat of Letona. That one's still kind of up in the strike zone, though, so you really got to be careful if you're Steinfort. At least if you leave it elevated, don't have it in that middle third of the plate. Try and keep it in on the hands and force some weak contact to not allow him to extend the hands on through as the 86-mile-an-hour pitch misses low and away. If I'm Letona here, I'm thinking aggressive on the 3-1 pitch. You know, he's thrown a lot of walks tonight with already the 3 to his credit. But I'm thinking aggressively here, and that's exactly what Letona was trying for. He's looking out towards that Chevy Pavilion, which he's already met with twice tonight. But a good job for Steinfort to battle back. That's the second 3-2 count against Letona tonight. It was the 2-2 count that he took him yard with back to start the fourth. So the second payoff pitch that Letona has seen tonight. Here it comes. That one, outside corner, looked like it might have been good, but Gauthier unable to squeeze onto it. So the first two base runners are on here in this top of the sixth, and Chris Newell is going to make his way out to make the change. So Steinfort's day is done as we expected with the walk, but we'll give you his final line when we come back and tell you about the arm coming in to relieve him here in the top of the sixth with nobody out and 2 men on for Utica. Already the 3-0 lead. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel.
And welcome back to the USPBL YouTube channel. Lee Ortel alongside Rich Borland. We have a pitching change here for the Beavers. Hunter Keel will enter the ball game as the day for Austin Steinfort is completed. His final line, 5 innings pitched with 5 hits given up, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Of course, those 2 home runs surrendered to Jimmy Letona. Steinfort will also be responsible for the runners on base. Hunter Keel has some affiliated experience, was drafted back in 2016 by the Diamondbacks, and then also drafted in 2017 by the White Sox. He'll face off against Coley Curry.
Curry, first pitch swinging. This one flared out to Longley in left field. Quickly getting the out recorded is Keel. Good job there for the right-hander. Mentioned Keel on the season, 4 relief outings thus far. His ERA is at 7.20 with 5 innings under his belt. He has allowed 4 earned runs, but he's allowed just 1 hit. The killer for him, 8 walks to just 3 strikeouts. So Steinfort, who had the 4 walks to his credit tonight, ends up turning the page over to Keel, who's also got a walk problem. We'll see exactly if the tide changes for Chris Newell's pitching staff as Oliver looks at ball 1 to begin this at-bat. Sort of looking like the same issues for Steinfort is for Keel. He's kind of leaving that ball up and out of the zone. Oliver over 2 on the night with a fly out to left and a fly out to right. Fouls off that 1-0 opportunity out of play into that right field Metro Detroit Chevy dealer patio area. Mentioned tonight at the ballpark. It's Thirsty Thursday. It's bouncing at the ballpark. Swipe right night for all you singles out there is Oliver ready for the 1-1. This pitch at 90 miles an hour. Missing the zone. Looked to be the 2-seam fastball, but nowhere close. Good hitter's count coming up for Oliver. Nowhere to put him. But if you're Keel, you're desperately looking for a ground ball that could lead to 2. The deep breath, the kick, the push. Fastball upstairs at 95. Part of the reason on why Kiel has affiliated experience, like you mentioned there, Leo, it's 2-2.
I had a lot of strikeouts in 2018 with the White Sox in single A. 33 strikeouts in 17 innings, but did walk 20 batters, kept his ERA down at 2.65, but really it is the command that he struggles with the most. If he can find the strike zone, he's definitely effective.
So Kiel missing on the 2-2 pitch. See what he can do with the full count. Nowhere to put Oliver with 1 out and 2 men on. The deep breath, the pitch. Swung on and missed at 95. Oliver can't get it done. Second consecutive out for Kiel with 2 men on. Great job so far for the right-hander.
Yeah, the difference between Hunter Kiel and Austin Steinfurt, Kiel can definitely get away with throwing some pitches out of the strike zone because he has that electric stuff. The scouting report says that he has a fastball topping out at 97, and actually had that also back in college when he attended LSU. So he's always had a very hard fastball, which typically you'll see higher walk numbers with, but that's a great pitch there on the 3-2 count.
Yeah, Kiel sort of, one of those few types of players, whether you're a pitcher or a position player, who, you're coming from a lot of experience. You're talking LSU, you're talking 2 different affiliated teams, probably kind of confused on maybe why he's, here at the USPBL, but
yeah.
Maybe the command is part of the reason, and he's trying to work on it here with the delivery value system that our Director of Baseball Operations, Justin Orenduff, has put together. And, we've had 1 major pitching injury in 4 seasons. It was Devin Alexander, who had battled injuries in his tenure. But, outside of that, absolutely no major injuries. You can't ask for anything more than that with how often we see pitchers go down. As a big cut there from Larry McCabe on the 1-1 brings it to 1-2. That's the kind of swinger that McCabe is. He's a free swinger, already 1 for 1 on the night with a single and a walk to his credit, but trying to deliver with 2 men on here in the top of the 6th and add onto this already 3-0 Jimmy Letona lead. Kiel, the look back to second, the 1-2 pitch in the dirt at 89, swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kiel after the fly out to left. Strand the walk and the single there that Steinfurt ended his day with. We head to the home half of the 6th. We'll see if the Beavers can string anything together. They have the bottom and then the top due up. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We are through 5 1/2. at Jimmy John's Field. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. It'll be Adon Ordonez, and then the top of the order due up for Birmingham Bloomfield in this one. Coleman Poche out there in center field, manning that outfield grass, makes the catch on the first swing on the first pitch from Adon Ordonez, who's recorded for out number 1, now 1 for 2 on the evening as he first pitch swung on both of his at-bats tonight. The one for the single into left, and this fly out to center. Have him 1 for 2. We go back to the top of the order. Alec Olin, 0 for 2 on the night with a fly out to center and a swing and miss strikeout back in the third, but got to talk more about the night that Spencer Stockton is having as the inside slider misses the zone. Just 57 pitches through 5 innings of work, 42 pitches for strikes, just 15 for balls as the 1-0 pitch finds the strike zone, evens the count up at 1-1. 5 strikeouts and no walks for Stockton through 5, and it took him until the 5th inning to go through a frame without a strikeout. So 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 more in the third, and 1 more in the fourth. See if he can get one here. Won't have it on the 1-1, and that's a tough break there for the left side of the infield. Right out, aggressively trying to make that play. Kind of was lunging to it as he ran to his left, but ends up ricocheting off of his glove. And take a quick look at it. Looks as if they do, in fact, give it a single for Olin. So Olin on the night, 1 for 3. As he's over there now at first base, it'll be Nick Campana's turn. 0 for 2 with a ground out to short, but had a nice line out to left field. Looking for something that'll fall this time around. As he looks at ball 1, misses the zone upstairs. It's 1-0.
And Campana's struggles continue. If you remember, he was the USPBL Player of the Week back in week number 2. Had his batting average close to 500.
This one falls in for a base knock. Looked as if there was a little stutter from Olin going from second to third. Not sure why he had it the whole time through, but in the end, that's a really good sign there from Campana, who, not a lethal shot off the bat, but sometimes it's better to force something, and he puts that one into right center field to bring runners to first and third. Tying run up at the plate, and Jack Haranek, your pick-the-stick contestant for the evening, who does have 1 home run on the year and that .308 batting average coming into play tonight. He's over 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Now on the polar opposite of the home run possibility, I was just going to say could turn 2 as Campana tries to back his way out of the tag, and he does just enough to force Kyle Bonnicke to make a miscue throw that allows Haranek to reach on the fielder's choice. Could possibly be an error, though, now that I think about it, because if that throw was made, would have easily had Haranek. So we'll officially give you that ruling if we see an error pop up there on the scoreboard. But Haranek reaching base safely. Olin coming in to score as Campana is tagged out via the unassisted putout for out number 2. And it's Ross Haffey's turn. Now 1 for 2 on the night with a single and a strikeout. Stockton, who now allows that first run of the ball game, something we have not been saying all that often. Just the 3rd outing out of 5 where he's allowed an earned run this season, and one of those 3 times it was just 1 earned run. So out of the 6 runs he allowed back on the 25th of May against the Diamond Hoppers, Spencer Stockton has been stellar this season as Haffey on the 0-1 looks at the changeup low and inside at 82 miles an hour.
And we know the control has always been there for Stockton. Definitely a strike thrower. Hasn't walked more than 3 batters in a single start and has not walked any so far in this start.
Slider missing low and away. Good eye from Haffey to lay off of that pitch. Not an easy one, as we've seen time and time again tonight. That slider working effectively for Stockton, but not this go around. A better eye from Haffey as he works the count 2-1. Favorable hitters count now as the fastball right down Broadway at 88. Haffey can't make contact, at least good contact on it, I should say, as he fouls this one off to his left. Now the count 2-2 Stockton trying to get his 6th strikeout of the night. Haven't seen one since Haffey ended that 4th. So it's been a long time since we've seen a swing and miss or a look from Stockton. The 2-2. Change up at 82. Everybody in a purple uniform was ready to head off the field for the end of the 6th, but home plate umpire Gary Wagenshoot says, hold on, fellas, we got at least one more to go here, as that one nearly got enough of that bottom part of the strike zone. Good eye from Haffey, as of course now with the full count, Haranek will be on the move as he makes his way towards second. This one missing low as well. First walk allowed on the night for Stockton. On the season, he's allowed at least one walk in every start, but no more than 2, and no more than 1 since the 17th of May, as runners now on first and second, and Haranek and Haffey. So there hasn't been any action in that right field bullpen tonight with the way that Stockton has been throwing, and even with the 2 runners on here in this home half of the 6th, still no action at the current moment. TJ Ward fouling off the first pitch that he sees in this at-bat. Mentioned how Stockton had 57 pitches coming into this 6th inning as we see a break in the action. He's now at 71 pitches. And that is, without a doubt, his longest inning so far tonight. But overall, he's looking adequate as the 0-1 slider hung up, and that one well inside enough for TJ Ward to make great contact on it, just not where you want it. And that's part of the reason on why Stockton's got such good stuff. Even when he seems to leave something hanging over the plate, he leaves it far in enough to where, even though Ward made great contact, it doesn't result in anything but a strike. So quickly down 0-2 is Ward. See if Stockton stays low with the changeup, maybe pushes something away with the slider. The 0-2. Fastball upstairs at 89. Let go there by Ward, who's over 2 on the night with a strikeout and a line out. It's 1-2.
And that last piece of contact definitely had the home run distance. And TJ Ward, who played in just 19 games last year in the USPBL, had 3 home runs in just 64 at-bats. Yet to show off his power this year, no home runs to his name.
As the 1-2 into center, Coleman Poche underneath it, corrals it as he did for the first out of the frame. He makes it for the third and final one, but the Beavers strand for the 1 run as Olin singled and came in to score. And we head to the 7th. Unicorns out in front by 2. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. First pitch swinging is Adrian Guzman. As we get back into the broadcast in the top of the 7th, Hunter Keel back out there as he had finished the 6th inning for Austin Steinfort, who went the 5+, but it was Keel who got 3 consecutive outs, a fly out to left and then a pair of strikeouts that retired Curry, Oliver, and McCabe, and he does a good job here against Guzman as one shortstop hits it to another. The 6-3 putout is recorded. 1 up and 1 down as Keel, like you said, Leo, with affiliated experience, doing good so far in this contest, even though he's got an over 7 ERA through the first couple of outings on the season. As quickly the count evening up at 1-1. Mentioned Bonneke on the night thus far, 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a flyout, but then walked in the last plate appearance, as this one nowhere close. Keel with that one getting a piece of both Gauthier and Wagon Shoots behind. And that's going to happen when you can throw the ball a little bit harder. Sometimes it's a little bit more errant, and Bonneke just happy to not take that one, as that one misses low. Trying to reach base safely for the 2nd consecutive time, but still looking for that first hit of the day. Mentioned how the Unicorns coming off of their toughest loss of the season. It was on Tuesday in that non-public game against Westside, where they lost 16-2, but Bonneke was 0 for 5 in that contest. He's fouled off this 2-1 effort and evens the count up at 2-2. Keel with the delivery. Fastball up and away at 96, nowhere close. It's full.
And we're trying to dive in a little bit more to Keel's numbers. In 2018, in rookie ball with the White Sox in 17 innings pitched, gave up just 4 hits, limiting opponents to a less than 100 batting average at a 0.077 mark. He'll walk him here. Walks were the trouble for Hunter Keel. He walked 20 batters over 17 innings, but also struck out 33, and just a 2.65 earned run average for him in those 14 games, all out of relief. So really, if he's got the control and the stuff, he's got the full package, but we know he's got the stuff, he's got the good fastball, but he's got to be able to find the strike zone. That's what it really comes down to.
So I guess that Achilles heel for him, just more walks than affiliated teams want. So he's trying to keep that down here in the USPBL. Was 4 for 4 going into that at-bat against Bonneke. But he allows his first base runner of the evening after he came in for Steinfort with 2 men on and nobody out in the 6th. Poche, meanwhile, down in this count 0-1. 0 for 3 on the night with a line out to short, a strikeout looking. Then he reached on a fielder's choice back in the 5th as he looks at this one that misses low and away, as Keel trying desperately to not let the Corns get any more insurance runs. They started off with 3 through the first 4. It was all Jimmy Letona, a 2-run homer in the 2nd, a solo shot in the 4th, and then for the Beavers, they just strung across for that 1 run in the home half of the 6th on singles from Oland and Campana. As getting over into scoring position is Bonneke on the wild pitch. Tough scenario there for Keel. You definitely don't want to... The last thing you want is to allow the Unicorns to get any more runs, but what you want even less is for it to be on all because of you, as he allows Bonneke to reach safely, and now he's into scoring position because of the wild pitch. And a great hitter's count for Coleman Poche, who knows that there's a base open at first, so they can technically put him on to try and get a double play, but got to imagine that is not the approach that Keel's got in this situation. This ball hit in on the hands of Poche to the left side, but in the end hit slow enough for Bonneke to make the split-second decision and get over there 90 feet closer to scoring into third base. But the second ground out to Ordonez in the inning is good enough for out number 2, and it'll be my pick-the-stick contestant, Colin Rideout, 0 for 3 with 3 ground outs, and all 3 of them tough. We talked about it going into the 5th inning. 2 comebackers to Steinfort that he just robbed from right out, and then he grounded out into the inning-ending double play via the 6-4-3 putout in the fifth. So he's due to try and drive in a run as the first pitch he sees called strike one right down Broadway.
And he's hit the ball hard a couple of times, but definitely struggling today. Entered the game fourth in average in the league with that .333 mark.
That one back up the middle, and Rideout delivers. So the fourth run of the game coming in to score for the Unicorns. Rideout. Count it with, now on the season, mentioned he had 16 hits, which is good for third in the league coming into play tonight. So now hit number 17 on the season. Good stuff there from Rideout, the McHenry, Illinois product out of Tennessee Wesleyan University, as it'll now be Dan Elliott's turn. Not a bad night for him as well. 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Came in to score the first run of the ball game when Letona drove him in that second inning. 1-0 pitch, missing the zone outside. And I was going to say, I thought it was 0-1. Scoreboard said 1-0, but it in fact evens the count up at 1-1. Keel with the pitch. That one at 95, getting some gas going for the right-hander. As the count now 1-2 on Elliott. Keel with the deep breath. Shrug of the shoulders, the 1-2 pitch. 92, took a little bit off of that fastball, but in the end it misses just outside. Good eye there from Elliott to bring the count even at 2.
Yeah, and it's been a lot better of a season for Elliott. Just a 213 batting average last year. Did have the 5 home runs in just 20 games, but the average has definitely picked up this season for Elliott, hitting at .306 entering the game.
Looks at a close one there, brings the count full against Keel, and if you're Keel, that's the last thing you want is the second walk in the inning. The one that you allowed already came in to score, as this one won't do it. Elliott chases after that one. That is strikeout number 3 on the night for Keel, but he does allow the 1 run as the Unicorns now take the 4-1 lead after the RBI single off the bat of Colin Rideout. We head to stretch time at Jimmy John's Field. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the home half of the 7th, Spencer Stockton back to work. Adam Gauthier, the leadoff batter, first pitch swinging, and if you're going to hit it to anybody, it not be named Adrian Guzman, as he is a surefire out-getter at the shortstop position. 1 up and 1 down for Stockton, who's cruising through 6, just 74 pitches, 51 of them for strikes, as 5 strikeouts to 1 walk through those 6 frames. A good start here to continue on in the 7th. It'll be the 7th hitter, Cottrell McGowan, who's got just 1 of the 5 hits for Birmingham Bloomfield. It was the single back in the 5th inning. But if we take a look at our scorebook here, Leo, outside of Alec Olin, who scored the only run of the game, we'll get back to that in a second, as this one hit to the right side of the infield on the 1-0 pitch. McGowan's retired via the 4-3 putout, but I was alluding to seeing how many people reached third base today outside of the run that came in to score, and in fact, nobody. The only person to reach second base successfully tonight outside of the run that came in to score was Ross Haffey, was Jack Haranek, back when he reached on the fielder's choice in the 6th and made it to second base on the Ross Haffey walk. So an unbelievable night for Spencer Stockton, who's got just 2 runners allowed into scoring position, and we're sitting here in this home half of the 7th inning with 2 outs, and Caleb Longley up at the plate, 0 for 2 with a fly out to left and a reach on a fielder's choice back in the 5th. The 1-0, this one hit up over our heads to the right of the press box, count even at 1-1, but overall, can't really ask for a much better night, not just from the Unicorn perspective, but from the fan perspective as well. Haven't seen a lot of ugly mistakes, no errors so far tonight in this contest, as the 1-1 missing up and in on Longley. That 88-mile-an-hour fastball brings the count to 2-1. Mentioned how Stockton with 74 pitches through the first 6 innings. Overall, he's been stellar. He's had 2 9-pitch innings, 1 11-pitch frame, and so far here in this 7th inning, counted just 6 pitches, 7 now, as Longley works the 3-1 count.
Yeah, entering the 6th inning, he faced just 2 batters over the minimum. Although there are no errors, the Unicorns did struggle a little bit defensively last inning, but really just the 6th inning was the only inning that Spencer Stockton struggled in.
So Stockton allowing just his 2nd walk of the night. One of the better bullpen arms getting loose for the Unicorns down in that right field stable. That, of course, Sam Cottingham Beard, the leatherneck out of Western Illinois University. He's been stellar so far on the season for Utica. We'll kind of dive into that in more detail, but overall a 2.57 ERA and 6 relief appearances. So Stockton's got a good one behind him if he can't make it through this home half of the 7th, but it'll be Adon Ordonez, the 9-hole hitter, who's got 1 of the 5 hits on the night for Birmingham Bloomfield. Standing in, looks at the off-speed pitch for called strike 1. Stockton, like we mentioned, now getting into the 80s in that pitch count. Overall, on the season, hasn't gone more than 87. That was in his last outing against the Westside Woolly Mammoths back on the 31st, just a week ago, as the count even now at 1-1. So we'll see if Stockton can quickly get through this 7th, maybe go out for the 8th, as this one hit to the hot corner, right out over there to second, as Bonneke makes the catch with ease. Longley is retired via the force out with the 5-4 putout. We are through 7 at Jimmy John's Field. It's 4-1 Utica. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We're through 7 at Jimmy John's Field. The day is done for Hunter Keel. He goes 2 innings, allows 1 earned run on 1 hit, gave up the 1 walk, which ended up being the run that came in, and also had 3 strikeouts to his credit. But, Leo, you and I a bit confused on the coaching decision for Birmingham Bloomfield, as it's not a reliever coming into pitch. It's the starter, Gerry Salsbury, who on the season for Birmingham Bloomfield, as we take a quick look, he's got 4 games under his belt this year, but all of them have been starts, and his ERA is at 2.45. Even though his record sits at 0-2, he's got 22 innings pitched and just 6 earned runs allowed on 20 hits, just 7 walks to 19 strikeouts, as Jimmy Letona standing in. He on the night so far, he's got the 2 home runs and the walk to his credit already. And look at that, back-to-back walks after back-to-back home runs. Can't ask for more of a picture-perfect night if you're Jimmy Letona, as he's reached base safely for the 4th consecutive time.
Yeah, both pitchers being a little bit more cautious with Letona up. Not a bad approach necessarily, but like we talk about, those no-out walks and 2-out walks can definitely be killer. It was actually a 1-out walk last inning for Kyle Bonneke that killed Hunter Keel, as he was able to come around to score on right-out single. But now it will be Coley Curry.
Curry having to dodge out of the way of that first pitch against the left-hander Salsbury, the lefty-lefty matchup. The 1-0 pitch upstairs a bit. That one misses the zone as well. So quickly, 2-0 the count on the designated hitter, who's 0 for 3 on the night, with 2 flyouts as well as a ground out. This one popped up. Looks like it's going to stay in foul territory. It'll go to foul territory, as Curry is retired via the pop out to Cottrell McGowan. So he is going to end up with an 0 for 4 night, unless the Unicorns can bat enough around to get back to him in the top of the 9th, as Dallas Oliver standing in. He, like Curry, 0 for 3 coming into this 8th frame. He's got 2 flyouts himself as well, but outside of the ground out that Curry had, Oliver's got a swing and miss strikeout as he's trying to get his first knock of the evening. The first pitch misses the zone up, as that's a good eye. I'm still trying to figure out on why Salsbury has came in to pitch this one, and now that I think about it and I'm understanding it more clearly, as the 1-0 breaking ball enters the back door of Oliver's strike zone, this is just 1 of 2 games for Birmingham Bloomfield here this weekend. So you got the start tonight for the team, and then they don't play again until Sunday in the afternoon. So you're going to have 2 days off on Friday and Saturday. You won't have to go again until Sunday. Now, it was, Salsbury, who I would assume would start the game on Sunday, because it's pretty much Steinfort and Salsbury, the 2 starters for this team. I would not be shocked to see Salsbury go back out there later on this weekend, as taking second base with ease is Letona, but it won't matter. No stolen base there, as Oliver works the 1-out walk. Runners now on first and second, as you're seeing Salsbury not having all that great of a start to his night, with already 2 walks against him.
Yeah, and we talked about how it's a little bit surprising that he has entered the ballgame as a reliever for the first time this season, but also surprising to see him walk a pair of batters here in the 8th, as Salsbury has walked just 7 batters over 22 innings pitched and has struck out 19. Really, Salsbury and Steinfort have been the 2 best starters for the Beavers this year. Salsbury with just that 2.45 ERA. He was used in a few relief roles early in the season last year, but also late in the season towards the playoff end of the season. So has been used as a reliever, but seems to be more comfortable as a starter, especially this year, as he's struggling early on. And now we see a pinch hitter here in Austin Maltby coming in for Larry McCabe.
Good spot there, Leo. Good call, as it is, in fact, Maltby standing in, the .269 batting average coming into play tonight, as the day is done for Larry McCabe. Not a bad night. Might just be an opportunity to have Maltby get some swings as McKay ends his day 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a strikeout. As Salsbury misses the zone away, brings the count to 2-1. As the Unicorns trying to add some insurance here in this top of the 8th. Not that they necessarily need it with the way that Spencer Stockton has been able to perform tonight, as Maltby takes a big cut at that 2-1 and gets nothing out of it. It evens the count up at 2-2.
And also a good coaching move here by Jim Essien, as Larry McCabe is a left-handed batter. He would be facing against the left-hander in Gerry Salsbury, so he goes to Austin Maltby to get that favorable lefty-on-righty matchup for the hitter.
Not a bad call right there, Leo. So the count even at 2-2. Salsbury trying to at least keep this one in the infield. Won't matter, though, as Maltby will most likely start and end his day with the strikeout, as Guzman will make his way into the batter's box. And as I take a quick look down in that right field bullpen, Leo, we saw for a moment Sam Cottingham-Beard getting loose, but he has once again sat back down. So I'm guessing one of two things. He's either warmed up, ready to go, or Spencer Stockton's 8th inning will, in fact, happen. And if that does so, we'll talk a little bit about some 2019 USPBL history being made in the non-public game yesterday, as Guzman looks at called strike one to begin this at-bat.
Guzman so far 1 for 3 on his ledger. He's hit a couple of balls hard, a deep fly out to left center field back in the 4th, that single in the 2nd, and a hard hit ball into center field right here.
There it goes into center. Campana picking it up, throws the rifle to home plate. The cutoff man, Haffey, for some reason, didn't let that one go through. Maybe no communication between him and the catcher, or he just thought that there was no play at the plate. But I'll tell you right here and now, he lets that one go. Definitely an opportunity for the 3rd and final out. But instead, Letona comes in to score the 3rd run of the game for himself alone. Gives the Unicorns their 5th run of the game. Oliver moving up 90 feet closer into scoring position. But Guzman, with his 2nd single of the night, drives in the base runner Letona. And now we go back to the top of the order. Bonneke looking at ball 1, the breaking pitch. That did not drop in, as Salsbury in that unfamiliar role, pitching here in relief for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. And for those that might not have heard, but we're kind of trying to figure it out ourselves, as the Beavers have a game tonight, but then they don't have a game until Sunday. So understand on why maybe, Salsbury trying to get some more work in, as this one flared out to the left. Out of play it goes. The count now at 2-1. But, Salisbury's got the 2nd best ERA on the team coming into play tonight. You got guys like Dylan Collette, Matt Dallas. Opportunities everywhere for those couple of guys, but they're allowing Salsbury to get at least 1 inning of work in here tonight, as the 2-1 breaking pitch stays up and out of the zone. It's 3-1.
And his command definitely does not seem to be there. Doesn't walk a lot of batters, has already walked the 2. A 3-1 count here for Bonneke, has already walked twice in the ballgame. Back-to-back at-bats for him as well.
This one up the middle, kind of an awkward finish to this top of the 8th, as TJ Ward goes over to second base, gets the force out to retire Guzman for the 3rd and final out. But the Unicorns get their 5th run of the game. They are now out in front by 4. We head to the home half of the 8th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel.
skydive, but spiders are another story. His go-to ballpark food is the All-American hot dog.
To the home half of the 8th we go. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. It's 5-1 Utica as Spencer Stockton, the main reason for the Unicorn success tonight. 7 innings, 86 pitches for the right-hander. Allows just 1 earned run on 5 hits. Allowed 2 walks in the outing. The most walks he's allowed in a start this year, but had just 5 strikeouts. But overall, one of the more efficient starts we've seen this season as he does get through the 7 innings. Alec Olin, Nick Campana, Jack Haranek due up for Birmingham Bloomfield to start this home half of the 8th. They got the top of the order up at the moment, but it'll be Sam Cottingham-Beard, the pitcher now in for Utica, as the 1-1 held off by Olin. The count now at 2-1. Sam Cottingham-Beard with the Unicorns on the season. The right-hander, not too shabby. He's got, count 'em, already this year, 6 relief outings as the 2-1 pitch called for strike 2. Cottingham-Beard, the second-best ERA on the team with 2.57. He's got a 1-0 record through those 6 relief outings. 7 innings pitched, just 2 runs on 5 hits, but the kicker, 1 walk to 7 strikeouts as he almost got his 8th one there. The slider just missing the zone. Great eye from Olin to work the payoff pitch.
Yeah, and it's a much improved Sam Cottingham-Beard compared to last year. Just 15 in the 3rd innings, but a 5.28 ERA. Walks definitely weren't a problem, as he'll walk Alec Olin here. Gave up just 4 walks in 15 in the 3rd while striking out 15. So the command has always been there, but the stuff has been a lot better for Sam Cottingham-Beard in his 2019 USPBL campaign.
So here comes Campana. Mentioned how he'd been struggling as of late after being the 2nd USPBL Player of the Week this year after Luis Contreras' Week 1 dominance. Campana 1 for 3 on the night. A ground out, a line out, a single in the 6th. Have him 1 for 3 as he looks at called strike 1. Start off this at-bat.
And he was very frustrated after that ground out back in the 1st, but had a good at-bat in the 4th. A solid hit, line drive to left field. It was a solid hit, didn't get it for a hit, but ends up hitting one soft into center field, just able to get one to fall. So some good signs here for Nick Campana, who was a game-time decision. We didn't know for sure if he would get the start tonight.
Yeah, not sure exactly what the diagnosis was, but supposedly something with one of his eyes. As we'll try and figure more of that out and kind of let you know on Sunday exactly what the issue is. You saw him almost take the 2nd pitch of the at-bat kind of in that head vicinity, something that you and I found out just a little bit ago as this one misses upstairs. Of course, one of the more pivotal hockey games in all of NHL history tonight between the Bruins and, of course, on the other end of it,
St. Louis Blues.
St. Louis Blues. You got Zdeno Chara as this one called strike 3, but getting in there safely is Olin. So Campana goes down for out number 1, but Olin gets in there safely just by a hair. But back to the hockey game tonight, supposedly Zdeno Chara, the veteran, playing with a broken jaw.
That's
I mean,
right.
You could do so many things to your body to not allow you to play in a hockey game, but I guess a broken jaw is not one of them.
Yeah, hockey players are kind of a
Different
different kind of toughness compared to a lot of athletes. But, yeah, I heard Chara could not even talk during his interviews. He had to write out his interview questions for some reporters, but playing through the toughness, you only get so many opportunities to play in the playoffs, but the Stanley Cup doesn't come around too often.
And it's not like reporters had all that good of understanding of him being able to talk with them normally with his accent, but
true.
The combination of the two, I got to imagine that's tough. But either way, that should be a fun one, as we're probably already in the middle of it now that I think about it. So give you a quick update on that for those that aren't watching the Stanley Cup Finals. Appreciate you choosing us over that, as Haranek hits a ground ball to the right side. Not a successful at-bat in the book, but in terms of doing something to give your team an opportunity to score, he hits it to the right side for out number 2, but it does allow Olin to get that much closer into scoring position, and there is, in fact, the update, 0-0 at the end of 1 there in Boston after a wild first period. As we get back into the action here in between the lines, Haffey the batter up at the plate as he is now down in the count 0-1. Runner on third. Beavers trying to get their second run of the game here in this 8th inning. They got their lone run back in the 6th on the RBI fielder's choice, but Olin was the only one to come in and score so far today, so he's ready to do that again, but Haffey swinging through that 1-1 offer as the count now 1-2.
Yeah, Haffey takes a lot of big swings out there. We mentioned his last game, which was the non-public game yesterday against the Hoppers, was 1 for 4. He did have the home run, but struck out 3 times. He's a guy that likes to swing big and try to send one out of the yard. It was back in the 2nd inning where he took a big swing and a miss, but then the next pitch he saw, he singled to the opposite field. So I would like to see Haffey maybe shorten his approach here with the 2-strike count.
I like that call. You talked that Haffey had his day yesterday. We were going to bring it up if Stockton was going to come into the 8th inning, but he did not. We found out that yesterday in that non-public game, there was one of the longer outings of the year. Meanwhile, we'll get back to that. This one's out in the right center field. Looks like it's going to get out, and in fact it will. Ross Haffey with already home run number 2 on the season. Ladies and gentlemen, Haffey playing in just his 4th game of the year, and he's already got 2 home runs. I'll tell you right here and now, Chris Newell's going to absolutely love this early season addition onto this lineup, batting in the cleanup spot. Already 1 for 2 on the night with a single and a walk to his credit, but he drives in 2 with 1 swing of the bat, and he gives the Beavers some type of life here in this home half of the 8th, which they desperately needed. And I'll tell you what, a 5-1 deficit compared to a 5-3 deficit, whole different ball game. You need just 1 base runner on to think about tying the game up, and all of a sudden it's a brand new ball game. Stockton still in line for the win with 2 outs, nobody on here in the 8th. First pitch to Ward, fastball outside, missed by a hair, brings the count to 1-0. Cottingham Beard trying to get back at it. Tough situation as you give up a home run, something that Sam Cottingham Beard had yet to do so here in 2019. Batters were hitting just 192 against him coming into play tonight. You see TJ Ward taking kind of that awkward swing. Looked as if he made the decision late to go after it, but in the end, he's down to the count here 1-2 on the night thus far. 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a line out, and a fly out. As this off-speed pitch at 84 looked good from up here, but Ward stays alive for at least 1 more pitch. It's 2-2.
And that's a good waste period there for Beard. Doesn't want to make a mistake again like he just did against Haffey, hanging something over the heart of the plate. So missing low, definitely not a bad thing.
This one fouled off into the protective netting. Count even at 2-2 here on this gorgeous night for baseball at Jimmy John's Field. The weather's been absolutely perfect as the 2-2 to Ward. Fastball at 91. Beard touches this time around. The count remaining at 2-2. Mentioned Sam Cottingham Beard coming to us from Western Illinois University. The Leatherneck trying to make a name for himself here in the USPBL in season number 2 under Skip Essien. The 2-2 again. Swung on and missed. The drop of the knee as this one goes down in the books as the swing and miss strikeout. Second of the day for Ward. Second of the inning for Cottingham Beard, but he allowed the 2 runs as well on the 2-run shot off the bat of Haffey. Just a 2-run ball game here as we head to the 9th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We're through 8 at Jimmy John's Field. Rich Borland and Leo Ortel with you. 5-3 Corns as we head into this final frame. It was Stockton who went 7, allowed just 1 earned run on 5 hits. Sam Cottingham Beard came into the 8th, gave up a 2-run shot to Ross Haffey, which has given the Beavers their 2nd and 3rd runs of the night, as Matt Dallas, coming off of one of his worst outings in his entire life. Salsbury went the inning there in the 8th, allowed 1 earned run on 1 hit, gave up 2 walks, though, alongside his strikeout. But Dallas, starting off against Coleman Poche with 2 straight pitches that missed the zone, make it 3. And from a Beaver standpoint, we're hoping we're not seeing a repeat of what happened there on Sunday against the Westside Woolly Mammoths, and arguably the biggest downfall I've ever seen in 1 inning of play.
Yeah, it was tough for Dallas. He hit a batter, walked a couple, loaded the bases, was not able to get an out, so they had to take him out, but those runs ended up coming across the score, so not a typical Matt Dallas outing, because he's had some great numbers this year. And as we mentioned last broadcast, he had the Brewers looking at him a few weeks back, so a guy that might not be sticking around for too long. Hopefully he can improve his numbers more here against the Unicorns.
Much better job finishing off Poche as he started him off 3-0, but now bringing it all the way back to 3-2. So you see Dallas fighting, clawing his way back into this at-bat. But, yes, overall, as we take a quick look, that ERA for Dallas dipping up to 4.35 in his last outing. He's got 5 earned runs allowed on the season, and 4 of them coming in the last outing as Poche works the leadoff walk here in this top of the 9th on the payoff pitch. That's the first time he's reached all day outside of fielder's choice back in the 5th, where he was eventually out via the 6-4-3 double play.
And this is not the start that Dallas wanted. His team still in the ballgame, down by only 2 now after that big home run for Ross Haffey. So they've still got a chance in the 9th. So they'd like for Dallas to try to face the minimum here, or at least get out of this inning without any runs against him.
So here comes Rideout, my pick-to-stick contestant on the night. At the moment, advantage my side, as you had Haranek, who's on the day 0-for-4 with a reach on a fielder's choice. But it was Rideout who was 0-for-3 with 3 groundouts going into that 7th inning. But at the moment, Leo, he's got the what would be game-winning run RBI when he drove in Bonneke back in the 7th for the 4th run of the game for the Corns, as he's down here 0-1 in the count.
Yeah, it was a solid single for him into center field. Good at bat for him there. Looking for another multi-hit game. He was 2-for-5 in that tough loss in that non-public game on Tuesday against the Mammoths. He was 2-for-5 with a double and a single. He's down 0-2, but looking for his 2nd hit of the night.
Mentioned how Rideout coming into play with those 16 hits. Good for 3rd in the league, now at 17. Dallas got him down in the count 0-2, goes upstairs with the 95-mile-an-hour fastball, swung on and missed as Rideout chases the ladder, and now 1 out on the board here in the top of the 9th with 1 man on.
A great comeback at bat there for Dallas. After walking Poche, gets him that 0-2 hole. You're able to waste the pitch. You can go to the off-speed in the dirt, maybe try something on the outside corner, but he elects to go with the high fastball, and that's the advantage when you can throw 95, 96, 97 miles per hour. You get guys swinging at stuff that they shouldn't be up in the sky. So, great pitch to bat there to Rideout, and 0-1 here as Elliott takes a big hack.
So Dallas, after the leadoff walk to Poche, seemed as if he's settled down after that just horrific outing against the Mammoths back on Sunday, but doing a better job here. Could see the throw out to second. Instead, Poche forcing the issue, gets the stolen base of second, and now getting into third as that one goes into center. And now look at that, as the runner now all the way at third, as Elliott is down in the count 0-2. As I mentioned, it was the Hoppers, not the Mammoths, who made that comeback back on Sunday. It was just an overall unbelievable ninth. We were about ready to pack up, get out of here, and then the Hoppers tallied for 6 in the home half. One of the craziest endings I've ever seen to a ball game because, for those who don't remember, Gabe Berman was in to try and save the day, and instead threw a wild pitch that ended up bringing in the game-winning run. Just an overall absolute debacle for Birmingham Bloomfield in their game on Sunday, but trying to somehow get back into this one as it's hit into right. Out there is Olin, makes the throw towards home, but Poche making it in with ease. So the sacrifice fly out for Dan Elliott goes down in the books as a successful at-bat. It's out number 2. Base is now empty. Not a bad night for Elliott. Only the one hit, but he walked in the second and came in to score the first run of the game, and now driving in the 6th of the night for the Corns. Good day for him. Speaking of good days, couldn't have a better one. Jimmy Letona, 2 home runs, 2 walks, count them, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. As that one just simply an unfair pitch from Dallas. You see him mixing in the mid-90s fastballs, and now he drops in the first pitch breaking ball to Letona. Nothing that the Mercyhurst alum's going to do with that one. Is Dallas ready to bring the 0-1 heat? We'll see what he elects to go with, and that, in fact, it was. Count evens up at 1-1 as that fastball misses outside.
And after the 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats, we saw in his last 2 at-bats in the 6th and 8th innings, Hunter Keel and I believe it was Gerry Salsbury pitching around Jimmy Letona, not giving him much to hit. And it looks like Matt Dallas is kind of going with a similar approach here. You definitely don't want to walk a guy with 2 outs, but a 2-1 count on him early in this at-bat.
Letona ready for the 2-1. Good hitters count against Dallas. Fastball at 92 this time around. Swung on and missed. Count even at 2-2. And we're getting ready here as Letona could be the last batter of the day for the Corns. But he's trying to keep his night perfect. 2 for 2 with the 2 homers and the 2 walks. Not if Matt Dallas has anything to say about it. 2-2 pitch. Fastball at 94 this time. Swung on and missed, so Latona's day ends not the way he would have liked offensively, but overall, tremendous day at the plate as the Unicorns are still out in front by 3. The Beavers with Gauthier, McGowan, Longley, the 6, 7, 8 due up here in this home half of the 9th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland and Leo Ortel with you. It's number 15, Chevis Hoover, coming in. Just his second outing of the season as the right-hander. Had just one outing in relief thus far this year. Overall, went 1 2/3 innings. Allowed just one earned run on one hit, but did walk a batter. Had 2 strikeouts as well as Adam Gauthier standing in. Looks at 2 straight pitches that missed the zone, and the 2-0 finding the zone now. It's 2-1.
Yeah, Chevis Hoover actually has some affiliated experience with the Miami Marlins organization. He was drafted in the 32nd round of the 2016 MLB draft. Actually went to Tennessee Wesleyan University. So brings in a lot of experience here. In 2018, a 2.89 ERA in 9 1/3. And in 2016, just a 2.45 ERA in 11 innings pitched. Did not pitch in 2017 due to injury.
This one popped up. Oliver can't find it. Over there, the first baseman, McCabe. Not him. It's going to be Bonneke that ends up corralling the first out of the frame. Gauthier is, in fact, retired. 1 up and 1 down for Hoover. Good start to the outing. So it'll be Cottrell McGowan now standing in. McGowan on the night. Count it 1 for 3. Reached on the fielder's choice that ended the second inning. Had the single in the 5th, but grounded out to the second baseman, Bonneke, in the 7th inning, who just made that play to make out number 1 here in this bottom of the 9th. So Hoover in there for the save opportunity. In total on the year, the Unicorns as a staff, as this pitch called strike 1, evens the count up at 1-1. Overall for the Unicorns, they have just 3 saves on the year. Albert Neff with 1, Ty Hensley with 1, and Andre Sebek with 1. Is that one just past the outstretched glove of Bonneke? McGowan with a line drive base knock to give the Beavers some life. Is a base runner here in this home half of the 9th. Tying run in the on-deck circle. So now it's Caleb Longley's turn to really force the Unicorns to start sweating in this one, as they've been on pretty much cruise control throughout this entire ball game. They've had the lead the entire time after Letona's hot start to the night with 2 home runs in the first 4 innings.
Another good at-bat there also for Cottrell McGowan. His second hit came in on the season, just 1 for 12, so a multi-hit game for him, his first here in the USPBL. It'll be Caleb Longley here with 1 down and 1 man on.
So Longley ahead in the count, 1-0 to start. Reached on the walk in the 7th. Other than that, a fielder's choice and a fly out to left. But if you're Chevis Hoover, you're looking for a ground ball that could quite possibly end this ball game. Longley Longley and McGowan do have some speed between the two of them, but if he hits one hard enough, then it'll, of course, possibly end this ball game. This one hit to the third baseman, right out. It kind of ricochets off his chest, and this is the ball game. So the right out at the hot corner makes the play, throws it to Bonneke at second. McGowan's retired. Longley is, in fact, finished here for the final out. The Unicorns end up getting their 10th victory of the season. This one, a final score of 6-3, courtesy of Jimmy Letona's terrific night. He gets the 2 for 3, the perfect night blemish by that strikeout to end the top of the 9th inning. But overall, Letona, the hero in this one, as the Unicorns take the 6-3 victory. Spencer Stockton with an incredible night once again. For the count it 3rd time this season, he gets through 7 innings, allows just the 1 earned run on 5 hits, as he allowed just 2 walks and had 5 strikeouts. Another stellar night for the man out of Wellington, Florida. Overall, Leo, your thoughts on this one, other than maybe what we saw from Stockton and, of course, Jimmy Letona tonight?
Yeah, really just a solid ball game all around. Really, it was those 2 guys mainly for the Unicorns in Stockton. And also, of course, Jimmy Letona with the 2 home runs, the 2 walks. The top of the lineup gets it done once again. Also some RBIs from Colin Rideout, Dan Elliott, Coleman Poche, and Kyle Bonneke able to get on a few times. So really that top of the lineup that has been solid for the Unicorns really all season long gets it done once again. The Unicorns entered the ballgame with a league-leading 10 home runs and 56 RBIs. So their offense has been good, and when you have a starting pitcher like Spencer Stockton that you can rely on to go out there and give you, 7 innings of just 1-run baseball, you know that your team has a very good chance to win the ballgame.
So overall, Steinfort getting his first loss of the season. Stockton getting victory number 3. But take a quick look. I'm almost positive the 3 wins on the season. That's the most by any pitcher so far in the USPBL. But overall, a really good baseball game through and through. The Hoppers, first team to 10 wins, as they have been just dominant so far in the 2019 season. They'll be back in action tomorrow with the segue, as it'll be Meet the Hoppers night here at the ballpark, the 4th Meet the Team night, as we've met the Unicorns, we've met the Beavers, we've met the Mammoths, and now it's time to meet the Hoppers tomorrow night. It'll be another fireworks spectacular as the Unicorns and the Diamond Hoppers battle in an Eastern Division matchup. For the first time this year, I actually won't be on the call tomorrow, as I, of course, not just the broadcaster here for the league, but also a group sales representative. I got a lot of stuff going on in our left field patio tomorrow night, so Leo will be taking the reins, and I'm not sure if you'll be by yourself or if you'll have somebody up here with you, but either way, Leo will at least be in the house to take the reins tomorrow night, as it will be these Unicorns looking to win their 11th game of the season. But overall, a really fun night here at the ballpark. And for my broadcasting partner, Leo Ortel, my name's Rich Borland. We'll see you tomorrow night, everybody. You stay classy, Utica.